You notice in the gospel that Lazarus was named. He was the poor man who was waiting for the scraps that fell from the table, the fine meals, food from the table of that rich man. Whereas the rich man was not named, because any of us can be that man. We neglect people who are in need. Now, brothers and sisters, it is easy to misunderstand this parable and to interpret it as a message of consolation to the poor. At first glance, that is maybe the message that we catch. Oh, I am poor and therefore I am blessed. I will go straight to the bosom of Abraham. I will go straight to heaven if I am poor. But that is not the message of the gospel. It should not bring us consolation. But if you are poor in this life, one day that will change with death. However, the story actually is not addressed to the poor. As I have said, the rich man was not named, but the poor was named. His name was Lazarus. It is addressed as a warning to the rich people. It is a warning to each and every one of us who can be identified with what the rich man did in the gospel. The proof of this is that Lazarus was a shadowy figure in the story and does not say a single word. The rich man is the only character speaking, along with Abraham. Now, as in all parable, there is a punchline in the ending, the important part of the story. So in the ending is entirely taken up by the dialogue between the rich man and Abraham. And the lesson of the parable is contained in that dialogue. It warns the rich that their selfishness will be their doom if they refuse conversion. Now, what was the sin of the rich man in the gospel? Remember, he did not inflict any harm to Lazarus. He did not do any bad thing to Lazarus, but neither did he do good thing also. He just let Lazarus be there, doing nothing to him, giving nothing to him, attending, giving his time. He did not give any of his time to him. So Lazarus was just there. But Lazarus was in need. He was poor. He was suffering from the sores of his body, a physical ailment. The rich man did not pay any attention to him. For him, Lazarus was a nobody. He just be there, waiting for the scraps from the food that fell from his table. And that is the sin of the rich man, doing nothing. In modern parlance, in modern terms, we can call his sin the sin of omission, doing nothing to those who are in need. So this parable has two main applications for us. One on the individual level, and the other is on the social level. Now let's reflect on the individual level. We may not be economically rich. We may not have plenty of money in the banks, or we may not have even investments, but we are all rich in something. We may be rich in intelligence, health, looks. You may be very beautiful, or you may be very handsome, or education. Maybe you have some degrees higher than the others, career, maybe you are rich in friends, and so on and so forth. That is our richness. But still, that is richness. Every day, we come across people who are far less rich than we are in one of those aspects. Do we look down on some people because they are not very bright, they are not very intelligent, they are not very educated? Or do we look down on them because they are just manual workers, whereas We have our jobs in the best restaurants in Macau, in the casinos. That's why we look down on these security guards. We don't follow them. We look down on them. Or maybe we are beautiful and others are ugly. They are unpopular, whereas we are very popular in Macau. In that, we connect ourselves with the rich man. We are the rich man in the gospel when we look down on others. Some people never smile or speak a kind word to a janitor, to a driver, to a waiter, to a beggar. This seems to say, am I my brother's keeper? Let us be aware that we will have plenty of Lazarus at our gates. We are the rich man, and we have plenty of Lazarus in our society, in our community. Even the person sitting beside us, that can be Lazarus also, who cannot even receive a smile from us. Now, on the social level, we are noticing this world phenomenon that in every country in the world, the gap between the rich and the poor are getting worse year by year. The rich are getting richer, whereas the poor are getting poorer. This is true concerning social classes, and it's also true concerning the entire countries. We must do whatever we can to reverse this trend. We are our brothers' keepers. We cannot accept so great disparity between brothers and brothers, rich and poor. Apart from being against the will of God, it sows the seed of social unrest, violent conflicts, and even international terrorism. Peace is possible only on the basis of justice and fraternal sharing. We will learn to share. But the consolation of this is that we actually have learned already to share. Whenever there are some calamities that happen in some parts of the world, we in Macau, we organize ourselves and we contribute so that we can extend our heart, our concern, because we are aware, little by little, that we are our brother's keeper. We are living nicely in Macau. We have plenty of blessing because your salaries are higher, greater than the others, compared with other countries. That is a blessing that we have to be grateful to the Lord. And if we have received blessing, we have to learn to share. We have to learn also to extend our hands to others, even a little. That would do, because we are our brother's keeper. We are our sister's keeper. Peace is possible only on the basis of justice in fraternal sharing. Since we are in need of our brothers' keepers or sisters' keepers, let us show it in our actions. And that is how we can reflect more in our gospel today. So as we continue our Mass, let's do a little reflection. If we are the rich man in the gospel, then we should do something so that we can be aware of the needs of others. And not only being aware, we can be part of the solution or the problem of that person who is suffering. We can do what we can. So many years ago in Russia, there was a novelist, the one who writes stories, novels. And one day, he went to the church. And then, at the church, because it was very cold, it was a Sunday morning and very cold. It was snowing. Here in Macau, even if there are no snow, still it's very cold. How much more in Russia? Now, in front of the church was a beggar. And when he reached for when the man reached for his pocket, he forgot his wallet. He doesn't have any money. And so he really wanted to share something to that beggar, to that old man, begging at the door of the church. So what he did was, he went there, and then he embraced the beggar. And he said sorry. He told the beggar, I'm sorry. I really wanted to give you something, but I forgot my money at home. I really have nothing in my purse. I really have nothing in my body. So I'll just embrace you with a warm embrace. And the old man began to smile with the bright eyes. He said, in my life, that is the first embrace I ever experienced. And I thank you for that. This tells us that not only money or financial help we can rely on extending to others. Our very presence can also be a gift to others. So let us pray that the Lord may give us that opportunity to be a blessing, a source of blessing to others, as God Himself every day is a blessing for all of us. Let us now all stand as we profess our faith.